Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Witches Winging It. Unfortunately, I'm flying solo tonight. Poor Jen has caught the flu. I'm winging it. I'm a witch of one tonight. And by the way, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope everyone had a blessed and safe new year and that everything is going well for everybody at the start of the new year. Um my New Year's Eve was kind of quiet. I mean, um I did one ritual that I normally do at the start of every new year, which is called a burning ritual. And that is when I get rid of that which no longer serves me, which would be the year prior. Um, so I did set my intentions. I wrote things down that I wasn't too happy with in 2025. Wrote a strongly worded letter to myself and then took it outside, said my little blessings over it, and then lit it up and threw it in my cauldron and waited for it to burn completely down. Once it burned completely down, I blew the ashes into the atmosphere. And not to say that you can't do that when you feel the need to, because you should. But that was just my symbolization of starting off the new year with a clean slate. And I hope some of you watched my live that I did on Facebook regarding um, why New Year's resolutions sometimes don't work. Tim, our producer, just popped in and said, "Hey, everybody." So, if you have not had a chance to go watch it, I would go back to my Facebook page and search for it. It's there for a couple more days, I believe, because now Facebook has put this thing where they only allow lives for I think it's every 30 days they remove them or delete them. So, any hoodles. Jen, if you're out here watching, I hope you feel better, hun. Lots of fluids, lots of rest, and get better because we got to start off this new year right, honey. And you're not starting off on a very good foot. We need to correct that. So Jen and I sat and chatted a little bit about during our hiatus for the holiday what we were going to do that is different for this year when it comes to the podcast. And she had a good point. Is our title of our podcast is called "Witches Winging It," and even though we've talked about a few things here and there regarding witchcraft, we really haven't gotten into the meat of teaching all of you some tricks of the trade. So to ring in the new year, we're bringing in some new hands-on classes that we will be doing. And the first one starts tonight. So I hope that everyone um, saw my Facebook post a couple days ago regarding some things that you would need for tonight's class. Excuse me while I wet the whistle a little bit. But tonight, for our first class, we're going to talk about something called not magic. Not magic, along with candle magic, is magic's oldest spells. One of the oldest spells. Hey, Lucy, how are you, honey bunny? Um, so when we talk about the oldest recorded magic spells, we talk about not magic and we talk about candle magic. Those are the two that are the oldest uh, recorded magic spells that are teachable. So, with that being said, I thought I would start out with something easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Happy New Year, Lucy, to you as well. So, when I made my post on Facebook regarding what we were going to be needing tonight, the only major ingredient that you really need is a piece of string. I requested that the string be long enough to be able to produce 9 to 10 knots with a pinky's width in between. So this will work with any string. If you got string, twine, mine happens to be yarn, a thick yarn, so you can actually see what I'm doing to get started. And the other two ingredients were your intention and concentration. You've heard me say multiple times that you don't need to be fancy schmancy when it comes to learning about magic or practicing or doing what we call a working. You may hear people refer to doing magic spells as a making, a working. Sometimes they'll call it a machination or a ritual that we do. All the same thing, right? And I am one to make it as simple as possible. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And you do not need to break the bank on any of these spells that we are going to do. The universe, the collective, the one, the source, energy, your spirit guides, guardian angels, they could care less that you went to, I don't know, a upper class store and got your holy basil, and it said on the package that it was picked by 8 vessel virgins on a Thursday during a full moon in Cancer, and it was only picked by the left hand while they were hopping on one foot, and it cost you $100 a bunch. No. Or whether you got it from your local Dollar Tree or Dollar General. They could care less. It does not matter. It does not matter. And someone who tells you that it does matter, that you spend an exorbitant amount of money on your magical workings, your supplies, is feeding you a bunch of baloney. Honey, baloney. I'm going to be like, who is it? The judge from, what is it? The People's Court. Baloney. That's exactly what I have. Baloney. You also do not need, when setting up an altar or getting magical supplies, as far as like themes, bells, goblets, your altar cloths, spending or breaking the bank doing that. Spirit does not care. Your most important tools are your mouth, your intention, and this. That's it. This is all you need. These supplies, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. So to get on with this spell, we are going to be learning about knot magic. Knot magic dates back way, 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 way back, thousands of centuries. And it goes back to things like knotting hair. Okay. We talk about dreadlocks and how some people get a little offended and say it's cultural appropriation when they see a white person with dreadlocks. That is not the case. Is it true that a lot of African countries knot or dreadlock their hair? Yes. But so did the Vikings. So did the Greeks. So did the Italians. So did the Celtics, including the Irish, the Scottish, and the Welsh. The Irish and the Scottish may refer to it a little bit differently and call it fairy knots, but they also dreadlocked their hair. So, not one country or one ethnic background can lay claim to locking their hair or knotting their hair. Um, when those who practice magic knotted their hair, they were knotting their hair for protection. They were saying spells or incantations while they knotted their hair. Because, as we all know, if you practice Reiki or talk about chakras, this is your crown chakra and your third eye. Your crown chakra needs to be protected when doing any sort of magical workings. Now, with me tonight, I should be wearing a little babouche on my head, but I don't because I didn't have time for that. So we're not going to worry about that right now. But there are a lot of cultures that believe that you should be wearing a head wrap on your head when you do magical workings, only because your crown is open. You are receiving divinity. You are receiving divine message or spiritual message from your spirit guides, from the collective, the one, God, Yahweh, whatever you want to call it. And the way it comes in is through your crown and your third eye. Okay. So when the first accounts happened with the not magic, or one of the very first not magic written down, was during the trials, the witch trials. Now, we all know that a great majority or a vast majority of the witch trials were not over witchery at all. It was because you were a woman. Not to say that there were not some men that were also accused of being witches, because there were, including several animals that were accused. But the ones that actually practiced were the ones that were sitting in the jail cells, and they were knotting their hair in ritual in order to save their lives or to protect their soul, to protect themselves from harm or from anything bad happening to them other than the situation of them being in jail as they were. They would do either knot their hair on their head while it was still on their head, or they would pluck parts of their hair out and perform ritual doing knot magic with their hair. And plucking their hair, a lot of it fell out because of malnourishment in the prisons. Your hair tends to fall out when you are malnourished. That's one of the things that happens. So they would pick up their pieces of their hair. They would use horsehair. They would use cane if they would get cane, and they would rub it to the point where it was almost like a string. Cord, anything like that. That's why you can use basically any type of string. All right. Today I happen to be using a thicker yarn so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. There are two versions of knot magic. One of them is as a form of protection. With the protection portion of the spell, if you went into older homes, a lot of the Tudor homes, the old Victorians, the colonials that have lived or survived hundreds of years, especially in Salem, Massachusetts, places in New England. You even have it down south in places like North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, and especially in New Orleans. If you happen to buy a very old home and you go to make repairs on the home, don't be surprised if when you go to the attic or the basement that you find a portion of rope hanging with knots in it. That was a form of blessing the home and protecting the home and all who dwell within it. They would perform not magic. These are not to be seen usually by those who are non-practicing. That's why you would see them in rafters, in attics, in basements, where visitors or people that would call upon you during the day, visitors, family members, wouldn't be able to see them because they're not in places that they normally would go. So that is one form. That is the benevolent portion of the magic. There is also a way to take this not magic spell and use it in a malicious way. That is not what I will be teaching tonight. Only because I don't want it to fall into the wrong hands. Because then you're out here hexing everybody, your mother and your brother, your sister, your aunt, cousin, uncle. First person, hello, Sherry. The first person that makes eye contact with you and looks at you with side eye, you're out there making a not magic spell to hex somebody. No. Okay. If you want to research that, you can do that on your own time. Not to say that I have not done hexing and cursing when I need it, because I will tell you that someone who says I'm just here for the light, love, and locks and lollipops, rainbow, unicorn farts with marshmallows and all that stuff, and I'm a witch. No, no, the hell you are. Witches are all about balance. Those who actually practice are about balance. There cannot be white without the dark. There cannot be light without the dark. They choose what wolf they're going to feed inside themselves that day. Have I done things bad? Absolutely. There are a couple of subjects that don't cross me on. Don't you cross me on it, because I will weigh out my karmic justice and say, let's what my going to clap back going to be. Okay. No, sure, I'll take that. So if you're here to learn about the malicious side of this, y'all can just take a hike, or stay and watch it. And then, no, thank you. I have enough problems with that creating more. Hey, Desiree. And welcome to those 3-4 people that are in the chat with me. Okay, so we're going to get started with this. And I've blabbered on for an entire 17 minutes. Remember, your piece of string long enough to put 9 to 10 knots in it that are spaced about a pinky width apart. Look at my crooked pinky. Crooked pinky apart in width. All right. Now, you will get people who say, oh, you're not supposed to make 10 knots. There's only supposed to be 9, or there's only supposed to be 8. There's only supposed to be 7. Listen, there are some religious ethnic backgrounds that will do 10. There are some that will do 13. There are some that will only do 9, only do 8. This is what I was taught. The Celtics sometimes will put 10 knots. So, if I only put 9 in there, if I decide to put 10 in there, don't come at me. Don't be like at me. Because, I use 10 when everybody else is supposed to be doing 9. Now, the incantation itself, or the chant, incantation, your intentions that we're going to say with this may also differ. It differs between practices. It also differs in between ethnic backgrounds, what you were taught. The Italians may say it one way. The Irish may put a couple more words in there. The Scottish maybe do something else. Those who practice hoodoo may do it differently. It's all up to the spiritual practice itself. Okay. These words rhyme. Now, I've also told you multiple times that the only reason that most spells they made them rhymey was that so you would put them to memory. If something's in a sing-songy kind of way or in a rhyme, you are more apt to remember it. They do not have to rhyme. Please, for the love of all that is good and holy. Don't, please. They don't have to rhyme. Okay? It's all about your intention. So get that out of your head. Okay? So I hope everybody has brought their yarn or their string with them. And we are going to commence with this. Now, what you should be doing is meditating prior, getting yourself in your calm, sacred space. That is your concentration. Unless you are doing baneful magic or chaos magic, nobody wants you all uptight. Nobody wants you thinking about what your coworker did or said to you today at work. You should not be thinking about the person who cut you off uh, getting home from work in the line of traffic or at the grocery store or someone who stole your parking spot. No, we are clear, we are concise, and we are in a space of grace. So, in order to do that, we should meditate for about 5 minutes prior to. Since we've all gotten here and we are in this space, we are going to go ahead and we are going to start this exercise or this working by taking 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth slowly. Close your eyes, set your intention, breathe out the bad of the day, and fill yourself up with white light when we do this. Okay? So here we go. First breath in. Second breath. Third breath. Get yourself in a relaxed state. Now that everyone is in a relaxed state, those who are working with us and are working along with us, get in your relaxed state. I'll wait for a minute for everyone just to become relaxed. It also helps if you go into a space in a sacred space. You should be in a sacred space in your home or wherever you are that's just carved out for you, where there's no distractions. We do not start ritual, we do not start practice, we do not start workings when we've got the dog barking, the phone's ringing, there's somebody knocking at the door, the kids are going nuts, the husband wants something, the wife wants something, da da da. Now, nope, quiet. Not exact quiet, not complete quiet. I mean, if your jam is to put some music on to relax you while you're doing this, that is quite all right. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to pick up our string here and we're just going to rub it with our hands for a little bit. And we are going to set our intentions of protection. And I just saw myself in the on my Facebook Live, and my hair is just a mess. So we're going to ignore the hair at this point. So as we're rubbing it, we're thinking about protection, and we are thinking and imagining white light coming through our fingers and kind of painting the strings. And we will begin. And as we go through these knots, we are setting our intention with each knot. And we are visualizing up here our protection. These are going to be our protection for our home. You can actually have these for protection for yourself. You can keep them in your purse, in in your pocket, whatever you need. All right. So we're going to start with the first knot at the very end. We're going to go ahead and make a simple knot. All right. And as we are making this knot, we are visualizing protection, and we start our spell. We say, by knot of one, my spell's begun. Tighten your knot so it looks like this. The whole time you're consciously worried about your breathing. You're focused on your breathing. You're focused on your intention. Within a pinky's or a finger's width, you're going to start your second knot. And as you're knotting, you say, by knot of two, my spell runs true. Third knot, as we are knotting, by knot of three, so shall it be. Fourth knot, by knot of four, this power I store. Protection is going into each and every one of these knots. Fifth knot, by knot of five, my will shall drive. Your will is driving this spell. What is in here and in here, you're putting in here and in here. Sixth knot, by knot of six, this spell I fix. You are fixing the spell into the knot. You are fixing it. You are putting it permanently in here. Seventh knot, by knot of seven, the future I leaven. Meaning you are making your future in this knot. You are twisting future into your favor of protection. Eighth knot, by knot of eight, my will is fate. Your will, you are fating it. You are making it so. You are making it happen. Last one, ninth knot. If I can get my string to pay attention. Getting it all through here. By knot of 9, what's done is mine. This I have said, so it shall be. So in the ninth knot, you are commanding it. It's done. You are affixing it. It's done. Now, if you followed along, you should have 9 knots. See the knots? Show them one at a time. Now, with that being said, now that you are done, you are going to sit and you are going to kind of like play with the string a little bit. And you're again going to take the white light from your hands. And you're thinking about protection, protecting your home, all who dwell within it. And you're just touching each knot. Still in that sacred space, still in your mind. Now that you've done that, put it in your hand and you're going to think about your intention. And you're just going to hold it in there for a minute or two, like this. If you have a large one that is actually made out of rope, you're going to hold it. And once you're done that, you are going to take this string. You're going to go into your attic or your basement, find a rafter, and tie this around the rafter and just let it hang. You have now effectively protected your home and all who dwell within it, including pets. Pets, property, people. Now, if you don't have an attic, and say you just have a crawl space, you can throw it up in your crawl space. It doesn't have to be hanging. Just chuck it up in there and keep it. You'll see in my office here how I have drop ceiling. You can put it on top of one of the panels and just close the panel down. In your basement, you can go and put it on a wooden beam. You can actually toss it if there's like a little like shelving space. You can toss it up there and keep it up there. And you will keep it even if you sell your home. I would leave it there. Don't take it to the new home. That's the only thing. I've had question about the knot magic before. If I sell my home or if I move out of my apartment that I have it in. Oh, okay, here's another good one. Apartment. An apartment. For an apartment, what I would do is take it and put it in the corner of a room that you have. You can hang it if you have somewhere on your lease where it says you can you command strips. You can use those if you can. If your lease allows that, go ahead and put it on a command strip and put it in behind a door where nobody's going to be looking, or in a far off corner of a room. Just have it hang right there. Okay. Do not take these with you if you know, lease runs out and you're moving to another apartment or you're selling your home. Do not take this with you. Same thing or same concept as us witches have about brooms. I don't know if any of you have heard when it comes to brooms. I'm gonna check our Corner Cauldron YouTube page to see if we've gotten any comments on there. See if we have any comments on there. Just making sure I haven't missed anybody's comments at this point. I don't think I have. Nope. I haven't missed anybody's comments. Okay. This has the same concept as witches and brooms. Witches, we all know that if you get a new house, you get a new apartment, you find a new place to live, you don't take your old broom with you. You leave it in that old home, old apartment, trailer, RV, whatever. You never take it with you. And the reason that you never take it with you is you are taking the old vibrations, the old dirt, old psychic dirt. Some will refer to as old juju. You're taking the old juju and you're bringing it into the new home. You don't want to ever do that. Okay. Once you go into a new home, every new home that you've been into, that you purchased, that you're renting, apartments that you're renting, trailers, RVs, wherever your living situation is at the time, you always go out and buy a new broom. Same thing I said with New Year's resolutions. Half the time, the reason that they don't work is because you are bringing the old shite from the previous year into a new year. You're not cleansing yourself. You're not forgetting about it. You're not lighting a match on it and shutting the door on that dumpster fire and starting with an actual clean slate. A bathed new you, bathed physically, bathed spiritually, cleansed physically, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. That's why those New Year's resolutions don't work. Same thing applies to those brooms. We don't bring an old broom into a new space. You don't want the same problems trekking into the new home. Fresh start means everything new, fresh, new. I even do it with cleaning supplies. I don't bring my own cleaning supplies. Hell no. I don't care if I took 2 capfuls out of that, the cleaner that has the bald guy on it with the earring. And I still got a whole full bottle. Nope, I'm not bringing it. No. Not bringing it into a new house. Not doing it. So you would not bring these to the new location. Leave it. Okay. I've heard a lot of people ask me questions when it comes to Not Magic about add-ons, things that you can add on. And you can. This was just the basics. Okay. There are some spiritual practices or some ethnic backgrounds that will take bird feathers and tie bird feathers into the knot. Some will use, well, you really can't, eagle's feathers, but they're illegal unless that you find one on the ground. Okay. Turkey feathers. Some people put white bird feathers. Some will actually get black feathers like crow's feathers or raven's feathers and put them in here. In some spiritual practices, they believe that when when you intertwine a black bird's feathers, like a crow's feathers or um, a raven's feathers into these knots, and you tie your knot around it with your intention, that that intention will then carry, because birds are messengers, especially crows. And Native Americans also believe that crows are the messengers from Great Creator. So it goes, I believe, and Tim, you can tell me if I am incorrect, but I'm going to try and recite it. That Great Creator tells the eagle tells the owl tells the crow, and the crow tells you. So it goes through the telephone line, the message. And also crows, hey Charles, also crows watch you, and they can send message in the opposite direction, back to Great Creator, or back to the one, back to the collective, back to the source, back to God, if that's what you believe in. Some people put seashells in it. Seashells would signify ocean or movement. You wanted to move it along, so they would put seashells. They would drill. That requires a little more stuff and a little more preparation. Requires a Dremel for you to take and put a hole into the seashells and knot them in these knots. Celtics would put in charms with whatever deity, corresponding with whatever deity that they work with. We have a couple of our witchy friends that pop in every now and again that work with the Fae. So they would put a fairy charm in here. Eagle, oh, I'm sorry. I was corrected. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. It is eagle, hawk, raven. So there you go. I threw an owl in there somewhere, and for the life of me, I thought someone said an owl, but it's Great Creator tells the eagle tells the hawk tells the raven, and then the raven tells you that Great Creator has been watching you, or there is a message, and you need to sit and be still and listen. Some Native American nations will say crow instead of raven. 6 1/2 dozen of the other, even though they are two different species. 6 1/2 dozen of the other. I guess it may go different with different nations. That when they are surrounding you, or they are not afraid of you, and they squawk at you and they look right at you, you better sit still and listen. Listen, you're moving too fast. Great Creator got a message for you. The collective's got a message for you, and you're not paying attention. So they had to send us for you to sit still, shut yourself up, and listen, or slow down. So the Celts may put fairies. The Celts may also put little trinkets of like moons and stars. They also if you are into the Theban language or the Theban language, the Theban alphabet. Theban alphabet refers to the witches' alphabet, which looks like a lot of M's and Y's and Z's. Each one of those characters, like the Norse, have runes, right? And each rune stands for a word. So does the Theban alphabet. Stands for a letter or a corresponding word. So if they wanted to add extra punch or added energy to this protection, not magic, they would intertwine a charm with one of the corresponding Theban alphabet letters or characters, runes. You can also put runes in these. If you are a Norse, you can put rune charms in each and every one of these knots. Some people put dried flowers. You can put dried flowers as well to symbolize growth, symbolize nature, symbolize beauty. That's another way of doing it. But I would not put this, don't put this out in plain sight for everybody and anybody to see. That is a rule that we follow. So yes, so that is not magic. And I will go over the words again. So if you want to grab a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen to write this down, I will give you time to do that. And again, some backgrounds or some forms or some practices of spirituality that do not magic, they may have 10, they may have 9 knots, they may do 8 knots. They're not really incorrect. Not one of them is, the end all that beats all on this subject. Okay. So remember that. And no, they don't have to rhyme. Spells do not have to rhyme. I wish people would stop. Again, this is saying it twice. Again, stop saying, but it doesn't rhyme. It doesn't have to rhyme. The only reason it rhymes is so that you will commit it to memory quicker and easier. Kind of like when you were in school and you were learning about the planets, or you were learning about science. And it was the old saying, my very eager mother just served us 9 pickles. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, and yes, Pluto. I'm sorry. I still believe Pluto as a planet. There you go. I'm old school. Just saying. So you see how that was easy to remember. My very eager mother just served us 9 pickles. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. In order. But putting it that way helped you to memorize it a little bit easier. All right, so everybody, I hope you all have your piece of paper and pen or pencil writing device with you. And we are going to say it again. In case I went too fast the first time and you weren't writing it down, but you were actually performing it. First one is, by knot of 1, the spell's begun. By knot of 2, the spell runs true. By knot of 3, so shall it be. By knot of 4, this power I store. By knot of 5, my will shall drive. D-R-I-V-E, drive, as in like you're driving a car. By not of 6, the spell I fix. You're actually fixing the spell. You're affixing it to. You're not. By not of 7, the future I leaven. So you're twisting. You're leavening the future. You're twisting the future. You are making it your own. Leaven, L-E-A-V, V is in Victor, E-N. Excuse me. By not of 8, my will is fate. You are making it so. Just like Jean-Luc Picard used to say on Star Trek, make it so. You are making it so. You are willing the fate of protection. You are willing it to happen. By not of 9, what's done is mine. As I have said it, so shall it is, or so shall it be. Either way you want to word that. Don't get me wrong on the owl. You're right, as the owl being a messenger, but more of the messenger of death and the ability to see into the spirit world. And as they say, very wise. Absolutely. I knew I heard now in there somewhere. But you know what? Again, this was so long ago that we discussed it. I may have tried to swap some of the birds. So now that everybody has gotten that down or written it down, another thing that you may want to do with this is add herbs to it. You know what would be really good now that I think about it is if you have some dried herbs. This is really getting fancy though with this. Okay. If you have a stalk of dried basil, like when you hang basil off of a basil plant, you can knot that in one of the knots. Or what you can do, this may be a little expensive for y'all to do, but you know what? I'm just giving you options. You can actually go get cinnamon sticks and put cinnamon sticks in here in the knots. So when you hang it, it has little cinnamon sticks. You can also use driftwood, pieces of driftwood. You can also use hagstones. Yay! So if you have hagstones, and we may get into the subject of talking about hagstones one night, since we are deciding to redirect our programming with this channel and do more fun stuff that people do along with us. And it was so obvious when Jen and I were talking about it. And Jen was the one who was like, well, we are witches winging it. Why don't we start doing witchy stuff? And I said, you know what, Jen, you're right. We need to start doing more witchy stuff other than just talking about it. Maybe if we do it as like a do along, so you guys can actually practice. If you're interested, you can practice it. Not saying that you have to go along with us and do it each and every time we do one, but and that's your option. You can learn as you go. You can also rub cinnamon on these and hang them. You just made your string. Way to go, Lucy! Lucy made hers. And you can do this. there are so many add-ons that you can do. Let your intention and let your spirit be your guide. Let your gut be your guide to whatever you feel you want to put intertwine these to embellish um, with this. Cinnamon is for good luck. Cinnamon is for prosperity. I have seen it where there have been some of us witchy poos that have actually tied money, or not at money, not at dollar bills, and used it as a money spell. Like they were protecting their money. They were protecting their fortune. They were protecting their finances or their prosperity. You can do that as well. It is what is in here, your intention, that makes this work. Like I said, there are two ways of doing these knot spells. One is for protection. The other would require a few more ingredients, and we ain't getting into that because I really do not want the karmic pushback that I may be getting for teaching you how to do something against someone. Just saying. At Christmas time, if you want to make these at Christmas, you can put if you go outside and you find like holly trees or evergreens, you can put them in there as reminders of rebirth, of growth, that, you know, there are good things to come. There is growth to come. There is rebirth after the long sleep. We call this, some witches who practice, who are in the paganistic practices, will call this, they call it the long sleep. Let's see. When I was with the sheriff's office, I can't read this. Let me blow it up so I can see what it says. When I was with the sheriff's office, we had a monthly lockup for the courthouse, but the only way he would come with you peacefully was with a piece of grass string. Without it, he would fight. He would fight you. Timothy Hopper. B. He was brought up. Maybe he was brought up in the witches' circle. Maybe that is very possible. That is very possible, Tim. That he was brought up in the witches' circle. It could have been that he may have been Native American too. Sweetgrass. You ever seen people make sweetgrass to burn as smudge or as offering? Sweetgrass is braided. They would grow the sweetgrass, they would dry it, and then they would braid it and put a red string around it, or intertwine it with a red string. You can also put protection crystals in here. You can put tourmaline. You can knot tourmaline in between, in the knots. Little pieces of tourmaline, little pieces of citrine. You can put obsidian. What's another one? You can do shungite. You can put shungite in there as well. These are all forms of protection and healing. Lapis lazuli. You can even put labradorite in it and hang it as a form of protection for your home. Right? So there are endless possibilities with this as far as protection spells. Now, Again, for those of you who have gone along with me and made this, I would not put it in a place where it can be seen. It is not for a place where it can be seen out in the open. This is something that is personal to you. So if you live in a home that has an attic, I would put this in the attic and hang it on a rafter in the attic. If you have no attic, but you have a crawl space, throw it up in the crawl space and leave it up there. If you have drop ceiling like I do, as you can see behind me, how I have drop ceiling, you can push back one of the tiles and throw it up on the tile and put the tile back down in its place. If you have a basement and not an attic, you can go downstairs in your basement and put it in one of the corners, tied around a rafter in the basement. If you have an apartment, if worse comes to worse and you live in an apartment, you have no basement, you have no attic, you don't have a crawl space. You're tight for spots. You can, if your lease allows you to use command strips or a small tack, I would tack this in a far corner of a room, and preferably like your bedroom, or maybe if you have a laundry area in your apartment, if you have like a little laundry closet, put it there. Or put it behind a door so that nobody sees it. And do not, if you move, do not take it with you. This stays. Okay? If it breaks at any time, say you're walking and you're getting out Christmas decorations, or you're getting out decorations out of your attic next year, and you find it laying on the ground, or you find it torn or disintegrating, this goes with saying, just like crystals of protection, like obsidian, tourmaline, black tourmaline, stuff like that. You get a lot of people that say, "Oh, but my crystal broke. I had it around my neck and it broke." It did its job. It did its job. It was full. It couldn't take any more. So what you do is you gather up the pieces. You go into your backyard and you bury it. And you thank it for doing its job. And you make another one. Do you have to make it on a full moon? Do you have to make it here? Do you have to make it? No. Absolutely not. What you can do is cleanse this prior to by running it through incense of frankincense and myrrh. I think there is dragon's blood would be good. Run the string through the dragon's blood prior to. What is that ancient Egyptian one that a friend gave me? Her name is Janice. I wonder what was it called? Kephalem? I don't know if I have it. I don't even know if I have it. But you can put it in that. I'm going to take you with me for just a second. I'm going to get up right here and see if I have it. And here it is. Kaifi. Incense of the Pharaohs. Here's another good one. Kaifi. This smells so good. I actually have to go out and get more because I don't have any more. I burned it so much. You can spritz it with salt water if that's what you want to do to cleanse it prior to. You can do numerous things with not magic. You can do a lot of not so nice things with not magic. Any questions? while I have people with me. I will wait a few moments just to see if people have questions. And don't be hesitant, because we're starting off the new year and we're starting it off strong and we're kind of changing directions with what we want to do with our podcast channel, of which is Winging It. If there is a spell that you would like to learn, please let me know. That'd be great. I can teach you spells. You know, we're all about making it easy. We want to keep it within like an hour, hour and a half, to be able to go from beginning to completion with it. So you just let me know if there is something specific that you would like to learn how to do, and we can do it. I will put that on the docket. We're going to put our heads together again. Jen couldn't be on the show tonight only because she's got down with the flu. Poor Jen. This was not as much fun with Jen without Jen. Can you teach me how to do the Darth Vader force choke hold? The Jedi mind trick that, or the whole willpower thing where he just does this and he makes the person choke. I wish I could do that. Listen, if I could do that, I would not be working at my regular job, Charles. I'd be, selling myself in New Orleans somewhere, teaching people how to do that. He said, just kidding. But if there is something specific that you would like to learn, please let me know. And Jen and I will present it to you. That's our whole goal, is for me, for both of us, if we're going to do a spell and it's a teach along or a do along, hands on, what I will do is either the day prior to or a couple of days prior, I will post on my Facebook page the list of ingredients that you need and the spell that we are going to do. That way you can set yourself up in a quiet space, sit there with all your ingredients and get ready. Sit down, pour yourself a cup of coffee, cup of tea, maybe a glass of wine, juice, soda, whatever it is. Get comfy, put your jammies on, kick your shoes off, and let's do some magic together. Again, when we do ritual or when we when we do a magical working, a making, a machination, some people will call it, again, a ritual, we have to make sure that we are in the right space, up here, in here, and in our gut. I see so many people say that, oh, well, my spell didn't work out because it just didn't work out. Well, when you did the spell, were you in your kitchen? Were the kids running in between your legs and here and there, and they were pulling on you, mom, 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 mom? Was the doorbell ringing? Was the phone off the, ringing? Things like that. You can't do a magical spell when you're like that, because it's apt to backfire because you're not concentrating. Your mind is on 5 other things when it should be on this. You are also anxious or upset. You're hurried, and that leaves room for mistakes. You're not centered. You're not in the zone. You're not in a peaceful setting. Another time that I do not do magic spells, or I do not do workings, or I do not make a making. I will even avoid ritual when I'm sick. Yep, when I'm sick, because your energy is low. You are not in the right frame of mind. And your body is just preoccupied with keeping you together or keeping it moving for yourself or working on healing. Don't do any magical workings when you're sick. I don't. I don't do them when I'm angry. I don't do them when I'm angry. Unless I am working on chaos magic. If it is baneful magic or it is chaos magic, sure as hell will I get all enraged and upset and just all Twitter pated and nervous and just, irritated, cheese grater irritated. And you watch me. That will have a lot of intent and a lot of punch behind it. But that is for a certain purpose. Right? That is for a certain purpose. For everyday protection, white magic, that good stuff, you have to be in the right frame of mind, or you're going to set yourself up for disaster. I have so many people say, well, I don't have 5 minutes. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Have grandma or grandpa or auntie, uncle, whatever, take the kids. If you have little ones, take the kids, take them out to dinner. I will give you like $20, $30. Take the kids, go somewhere, go to McDonald's for like an hour. Right? You've got animals, you got the husband, you got the mom, the dad, the whole deal. You need to find a space in your house that you can be alone for at least 30 minutes, which is not hard to do. Meditate for 5 minutes. I'm not asking you for the world. I'm asking you to meditate for 5 minutes prior to. That sets you in your right headspace. It gets rid of all the nervous energy. It gets you calm. It gets you relaxed. You can even do magical workings if music is your jam. If music calms you, certain types of music calm you and get you in that right spiritual space, sure, why not? I've seen people do Reiki with soft music or instrumental playing in the background. If it's going to calm you and give you that moment of where you're in that zone, you're in that space, then by all means. This is yours. These spells that you are doing are yours. Not one person is going to do the spell exactly the same way, because it is all about your intention, your spiritual space, your vibe, your head space, and how you are for that day. That's why you will find that people that do Reiki for a living will not take clients. They will not take clients if they are not in the right space. They've got a lot of drama going on in their family, or they've got a lot of medical issues. They'll stop doing Reiki because they don't want to impart that energy, that not so good energy, on someone else. I always had and you always had it when you went to pick them up. That's a good thing. See, Tim, you knew, you learned. So yeah, people who do energy healing, they will not do energy healing, or they will not book clients. I will not book clients when I do tarot, or when I do a night of mediumship. If I am not in my right headspace, or I've got something that's just irritating me and I can't let it go, I'll cancel the appointment and rebook it another time, because I don't, it's not fair to the person that you were doing it for, and it's not fair to yourself. It's not fair to spirit to do that. Speaking of which, I got my Reiki table for Christmas. So thank you to my family members. Thank you. I hope you all had a blessed Christmas. I had a wonderful Christmas with my kids. All my kids were happy and healthy. Mama Dukes was happy and healthy. Everybody was good. We had a great Christmas. It was quiet, but we had a lot of fun. Um, and I got spoiled as usual. I got my comfy shoes. I got things that I needed. I got a Reiki table that is collapsible, so I will be doing Reiki, traveling Reiki. So if anybody wants a traveling Reiki session, then give me a call. Have table, will travel. And that is something new that I will be adding to my repertoire since I've got my certification as an energy healer. I can be doing that as well. So again, if there is something that you would like for us to do, please let me know. I think when we are on next, on which is Wingin' It, Jen is going to be talking with us about mugwort. I know a lot of you have heard about mugwort and find it fascinating. We will learn about the medicinal properties of mugwort, spiritual properties of mugwort, the what to do and what not to do with the mugworts when we have it, how to use it properly, and where it comes from. So that'll be a Jen night. I will be sitting back taking notes on that. I do have mugwort here. I use it in certain workings. It's sitting right over there. And maybe one night we will talk about doing let's see, we can do a lot of things with bay leaves. We want to talk about bay leaves, or we want to talk about cauldrons. We can do that. Some spells with cauldrons. As the weather gets warmer, I would like to set up something outside for the warmer months to see if anybody would be interested in learning how to do ritual burnings. Getting rid of that which no longer serves you. We could do those outside because I have smoke detectors in my house and we don't want the smoke detectors going off. And we can talk about if we want to do ritualistic burnings, of what if the person is afraid of fire or can't do a fire. What do you do? We can talk about that as well. So we got a lot of good things that are going to be happening with Witches Wingin' It. We will be back on the air next Monday with Corner Cauldron with me and my brother from another mother. I would love to be outside. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm wondering if maybe we can do a Witch's Wingin' It. If that's what you want to do, Sherry. Maybe we could do a Witch's Wingin' It on a Saturday instead of a Monday. And maybe we can do it up in Ringtown. And we could be outside hanging out, having a good time. We can get the coven together. We can get the sisters together and have a good time. That is something to talk about and something to think about. Iron out the logistics. So we could talk about being outside. I love being outside, Sherry. I really do. This cold is not for me, honey. And you know what else is not good for me either? I don't do well with the raging heat. When something is too hot, my belief is once you get down to your nakedness, to your godliness, to your spiritual being, the way you came into this world, my goodness, you cannot strip down anymore. Okay, at least when I'm cold, I can put more layers on until I look like a burrito. I'm just saying. That's why spring and fall are my favorite seasons. Summertime too, but it can't be atrociously hot. That would be awesome. We're gonna have to figure out the logistics for that and see what we can do. Maybe we can all gather and just have a, like a little celebration thing going on and teach everybody how to do burnings. That would be amazing. So, anybody with any questions as far as I'm concerned with not magic? Anybody? Anybody, somebody? Want a body? I hate the cold. You rarely hear me complain during the summer. I know. I've never heard you complain during the summer. Never heard you complain, Charles. Got no problem with the heat. Yeah, we know you have no problem with the heat, Cap, because, this is our thing. When we start off the show, we don't go on air till 7 o'clock, but we log in around 6:45 backstage, and we'll chit chat. And I I always tell Cat Tim when the cold has come to the Mid-Atlantic states, I'll ask him, how's the weather down there? And he'll go, oh, it was 75 degrees down here today. It was, 80 degrees down here today. We're like, oh, wow. He'll say, how's the weather up there? Oh, it was 30. It was 25. And I'll go, oh, nope, 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 nope. You can keep that weather up there. Nope, nope, nope. I'd die. Up there in that cold. No. That's a cat. We gotta get Tim to come up here with Donna. To meet all of us, maybe someday. In the warmer months, we will see about getting our producer Tim Hopper, the lovely Tim Hopper, up here to see all of us in the Mid-Atlantic states. It's probably gonna have to be August when we do it, because it's when it's really warm up here. But if there is nothing left, I want to congratulate those who did a do along with us, or learn along. Congratulations, honey poos. You just did your first magical working. Look at that. And it wasn't painful. It didn't cost a lot, and all it needed was some string and some here and here and here. That's all you need. And your hands. Look at you. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of all of you little witchy poos in the chat who did along with us and went along with us. I'm proud to be on this podcast every Monday, both of them. I enjoy. I'm blessed, and it is the start of a new year. And let's just hope for everyone that this year starts off on a good foot. If it has not started off on a good foot, there is still time to change, to have it change. And let's just hope that everyone has a happy and blessed year. Because who the hell needs another Jumanji year? Because I certainly don't. I mean, I'm done with the chapters of Jumanji. I would just like 1 year where everybody minds their own business. And I can do whatever the heck I want to do, and you do whatever you do. Do what you do, boo-boo, and keep it rolling, keep it moving. That's what I wish for. I wish for people to stay happy and healthy throughout this year that has just started. All right. So if no one has any questions, Tim, do you have anything to say, sir? Let him pop in here and see if he has anything to say. Here he comes.
Hey, how's everybody tonight?
How you doing, sir?
Hanging in there, Buffy. Hanging in there. Yeah, let's
And
hope this year is a good year for everybody. And, we do have some good shows lined up
yeah,
for everyone this year. And as for coming up there, yeah, it's going to be in August, I'm telling you. And it better be over there. I'm not fooling with that cold now.
we'll let you know when it's going to be like 90 up here.
There you go. Captain loves that heat.
That way you don't have to worry about carrying any like sweaters or gloves, anything like that. We'll
Well,
make
I'm going
sure
to come prepared anyway. Just, that's just the way I am.
we'll just make sure that you're warm when you come up here.
You got it. You got it. I know you guys got plenty of firewood up there.
I don't have a fireplace, but I know Jen has a fire pit. I know
Well,
she
that's
got
okay.
somewhere.
I'll go to Home Depot and bring some firewood.
There you go. There you
They got
go.
firewood at Home Depot up there?
Yeah, they actually, you know what? They have firewood at Acme's at your grocery stores
Really?
outside. Yep, little
I
bundles
don't
of
know what
wood
Acme
outside.
is.
I
I know our
mean,
Home Depot sells firewood down here. So,
really?
yeah, yeah,
In Florida?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You you Floridians are special. There's some special people down there in Florida.
Well, it's about $9 for, I don't know, 7 or 8 pieces. Yeah,
Well, that's probably about the price it is up here
yeah.
for it.
It takes
So
takes about 10 minutes to burn it, but that's long enough.
that's yeah, depending on the wind up here, because we do get windy up here as well.
I hear you.
But
I hear you.
any hoodles, if anybody has any ideas that they would like to have any spells that they would like to learn how to do after the show has ended for tonight, don't hesitate to email me. You can email me at ghostwhisperer318@gmail.com. That's ghostwhisperer318@gmail.com. Crickets, people. I'm hearing crickets. So if you have a spell that you'd like to learn, or something that witchy that everybody can learn along that you want help with, don't hesitate to let us know. Let Jen and I know. I don't rightfully know Jen's email offhand, but um, don't hesitate to email either one of us if you remember it from past shows. And next Monday will be our first show with me and my wonder twin, my brother from another mother, my WT, Jim Spillin. We will be back on the air with Corner Cauldron on Monday night, this coming Monday. You got anything else you want to say, Kat?
No, I think we're good.
We're good.
Oh,
All right, everybody.
just don't throw those spells this way.
I'm not throwing those. Listen, this was a protective spell. You want one? I throw one your way.
Oh, that's good. Thank you, ma'am.
Protective spells. I died. Woo. And as I always say, and we always say, love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. Bye. Love and blessings to you all. Happy New Year, everybody.